Disclaimer. Hello everyone and welcome to the Week in Review, where we recap the previous week and, oh, I'm so close to getting there, anything extra. So as I will be setting up for this week, I do apologize, by the way, for asking about the stream thing. See, sometimes whenever we stream, and you've seen this earlier in the year if you've been watching our live shows, they would always say like the bit rate for the thing, it's not what it should be. But if it's streaming fine, it's streaming okay, you know, we take that today. A couple of things to kind of talk about. Yeah, let's get this out of the way just at this start. I'm just trying to adjust myself right now so my position looks right when I'm on the screen. Okay, just to basically go over, where am I? I am here. Alrighty, that is close enough. So to basically kind of explain, I really hate talking about this. Because my father passed away back in August, and next Sunday would have been his birthday, I'm not going to have the mental strength to be able just to do a live show. So instead, what I thought to do would be to have a video dedicated to him that'll be released on this Sunday. So next Sunday, it'll be the Bay History video and no live show for that day. I've been working tirelessly on trying to learn stuff to really make it good, so that is basically the reasoning for why there is no live next week. And either way, you know, when we get a little bit more info on stuff, usually that's when we pop off a bit, but for now, we'll be okay. Just for the recap stuff, and I will try to take a look at chat in a moment, I have to adjust my position on the screen. Oh, well, hold on, shout out to Water Droplets for the 5. Thank you so much. Fair enough, yes sir, yes sir. Yeah, basically this whole week was literally just, it was news. It was news on top of news. Now we're going to get even more meta because I'm on the screen there. Random booster and Phoenix videos. You will notice the new format I've been trying to do on these random booster stuff, because obviously copyright sucks in Japan. And you got to be very particular about how you articulate in these videos. So that's pretty much why, that's pretty much why I got to like do very specific. I mean, either way, like, honestly, the videos have, like, an English translation for some of the panels. It's whited out panels. It's modified. Like, brother, like, what can Japan do? And I hope nothing, because I said before Japan can't do anything. Then that's what happened in July when I got hit by one video. So, obviously, the Bay store, quick plug, obviously, because this is what helps supports the channel, quite literally. Basically, we have stuff like the Beyblade X Extreme Sale. 3 products, 15% discount. It's probably the best deal we've ever done on our store. And a first time, because we usually don't even do the new stuff. We're even doing the new stuff. Listen, if you're a fan of Drawn Sword, that entry starter is pretty... I think the price is pretty fair, especially since I'm a Canadian importer. So... check that out. Now, this is separate from that one, and they shouldn't be stacking on each other. You would have to do one X and one Burst separate, but Burst is also 15%. So, if you want to get the Burst stuff, you know, you can get the Burst stuff. If you want to get the X, you get the X. Now, actually, I'm going to move this one here, because this one is kind of the small topic of discussion. Okay, we're going to be talking about... I keep on confusing the goddamn names. No, Wing is the painted one. Feather is this one. Phoenix Feather. This is going to be in the Koro mid-December, so that's like December 4th. But even though, whenever the Koro releases, I have to now go in a month from now. It's the 14th of December. Well, actually, no, it'd be technically the 15th. The 14th. I think technically, because of how shipping works here from Japan to Canada, I would probably only get the Koro like on the 18th. So listen, we got a long way. This is like a couple of weeks anyways, but the advertisement for Phoenix Feather is essentially more or less, this is similar to Drawn Sword in design. Think about if you remember back in Beyblade Burst, where they did something like Shining on Materials or Shadow on Materials, but it's a slight modification in the design. So this one, it's more of a wing design. It doesn't quite have like that maybe that hard-hitting part from Drawn Sword. I have to re-review the Koro scans. This is essentially like Drawn Sword 2, kind of, but without that main thing. This should at least be just fine for like your defense or like your stamina, recoil combos. So, I mean, listen, the gear bit design on the closed wings, I think is still, I would argue, probably the best, or at least one of the best. I actually prefer it over the mainline one, but that might be the hot take for today's live show. Now we're going to kind of shift gears. See what I did there? Because the bottom's called gear, and there's gear ball, and there's gear flat. Now look at this. I'm in the void. Oh, God. There you go. Okay, so Gale Wyvern. Pretty cool. The whole lineup of the stuff. Now, I actually would say, for the random booster stuff, I think overall we're doing pretty good so far on reprint stuff. Like, there are 3 opportunities. There's the prize, and there's 2 reprints of the prize bit, which I think is very good. You know, Leon has the later one, High Needle. Maybe it would have been nice to see maybe like a low flat that is blue, not just a regular flat. And maybe it would have been nice to see not just taper, but we're very early on, so I'm not really going to be so harsh on the reprint stuff. Right now, I would say pretty fair so far. There is also IRL photos, but there's one where it's really far away, and I didn't really want to show it because it was just like, I might as well just show like the CG render of this, but there is actual other photos that were taken that are at that little display thing, but since I don't have consent to use those photos, I cannot. So we'll move on from there, but yeah, I think overall my favorite one, number uno, has to be the Knight Lance. And you can tell me in the comments, right? We'll be deciding. It's Lance then Wizard, because Lance looks absolutely evil. I'm pretty sure Lance should have a black gear ball. I'm pretty sure, I don't know what the arrow one has. It should be probably a white gear ball, but I would hope purple, because I like purple. Also, I was correct. I did say that the Wyvern Gale yellow is probably going to look like the yellow Hell Scythe, and I was very much on point with that. But I did do a little bit of an edit, because I was a little bit critical of the random booster stuff. Now, some may disagree on the Viper Tail one. I just like contrasting colors on here. But in terms of editing, what I essentially really liked was when they kind of stay committed to something and they don't just like do, like they always do like blue eyes or whatever, you know what I mean? So when I did this edit, right, this Photoshop where it's how I would have done it, I basically kind of just gave the yellow gear bits to Viper Tail as a Photoshop. I gave purple, completely purple pink for the Wizard Arrow. I want to be honest, I just wanted a Wyvern reference to the Burst one, so that's your Photoshop there. And the Leon Claw is the ugliest gear bits recolor because they did pure red, and I know IRL will probably look a little bit neater, but I really wish that the head of the lion, I don't know what you call the thing, the mane or whatever, I wish those were 2 separate colors. And I understand the original one, that's how it was, gold, but listen, make the lion look normal. I like the blue on the Wizard. Well, listen, I just like the pink. I just want a pink recolor. Like, there's no pink recolors. There's no pink or purple. Well, now there is, actually. Well, kind of. Well, we are getting... The Wizard Arrow is basically getting complete at this point, because the whole thing with Multi's literal name translation of, like, the 7-color ultimate super-duper rainbow. Now we're getting close to being accurate here. Now we're going to talk about this one, 960. Now, I'll be honest, I was a little bit taken aback by this because I kind of just was asking myself, just, what is this? Because it's essentially like, I almost want to call it basically like when Burst basically did this, and it was like almost a variant of like something before. We called it like the Dash variant. This almost feels like 3 Dash. Because it's just a bumpier version of 3-sided stuff. Kind of like reminiscent of like the angle frame. I mean, for attack, will this actually matter? You know, that's going to be very hard to tell. I don't know if really that ratchet's going to do anything. It's not like the ratchets are really pushed out for this to actually matter that much. This will probably be, I think my prediction was It'll probably be worse than 3, but maybe close to that. I don't know, because I think I have it like 5 sides, 3 sides, then I guess I would do 9 sides, then I guess I would do 4 sides. 4 is still the last, but it does depend on what height you're on, right? And because this is 60, you know, it's another 60 height. So that means we have to get a 760, a 660, oh my god, there's so many missing in between stuff. Then after, we have our new gear bottoms. Now, this actually I have to give credit towards, because I think everyone was kind of saying, oh, I really want to see gimmicks and Beyblade X or something interesting on the bottom, because everything was a little bit basic. Like, listen, I think right now, like the low and high variants, you know, okay, kind of there, but these ones are legitimately just completely different tips. Like, even if they have like the partial name, these are just completely different bottoms to me. Now, the whole purpose of, so you basically have so far, I think like what, 3 variants. The low variant is it's at a lower height and they generally modify the shape. The high variants, they generally modify the shape and it's like the tall variant. And now the gear variant, where this is now focused on the extreme line. So a little bit interesting for this, because now that means we could potentially get, I don't know if they can do it. Like, I don't think they can do a gear needle. I don't know how you would do that. Because I guess the bowl makes sense, because it's like a wider bowl, but I guess you'd have to do like a super wide cone. But, I'm not too sure. I mean, gear taper, I think, is probably... The other variants for this are going to be a little bit confusing, actually. I'm not too sure how they could design it. But gear ball, I legitimately think has to be solid, because of the fact... Well, stamina-wise, probably not, but I'm just thinking purely defense-wise, because if it's focused on the extreme line, the idea should be going around that line, counter-attacking your bays, and Wyvern probably will... Honestly, I think Wyvern stock probably would be pretty good, actually, because it's got like the 5 sides in it. Whoa. Oh, don't do this to me. Shout out to Kaiju. He makes the Curse 3 prints we did on one video. He's going to scare me now. He's going to try to do that, and I'm going to get scared. Oh, God. Okay, but yeah, aside from that, I like these. I like these are variants. I'm still curious when we're going to get, like, the rubber stuff, maybe, like, metal weighting. Right now, I'm okay. You know, we don't need the extremes. Again, we're still very early on, so I will appreciate the fact that they're putting a little bit more effort in. Next one, PhoenixWing. Now, I did have a pretty good discussion with, shout out to WBO Discord, on a lot of the members. Now, basically, I had this worry with PhoenixWing, where with PhoenixWing, because the advertisement is 38 grams, and because Cobalt Drake... Okay, actually, let's give more context here. Cobalt Drake, when I originally tested it on the current parts that were available... It wasn't anything that was too special. You know, the gap kind of got in the way. It was top heavy, so it would fall down a lot. So I said, even though it's heavy and it's a little bit annoying, it's still pretty doable and it's not like that bad. But then after, when you get 560, which kind of helps compensate for these bays with the gaps, and then after you get something like Rush, it becomes like, where even though it's really heavy and it's a little bit difficult to move, it works perfectly for the Rush gimmick, and because of the 560, it's perfectly good for the burst resistance. So then after I thought, well, this is going to be a little bit scary because of that kind of weight difference there. Now, when you get to PhoenixWing, first of all, Kiritomi could just say screw it, and then after they just weight creep, and then after that's like the second half of X, and I'm probably not going to like, and they could just do that. Or... what I've been noticing, and if you pay attention, is that they're doing this on specific blades. Like Cobalt Drake is from Chrome, and Chrome's a very prominent character in the series right now. He's one of like the top teams. Burn, or Bond, whatever the name actually is going to be when they translate it, is one of the top bladers, right? These very important bladers. So maybe this could be in limited selection. Now again, X cannot survive on these bays getting heavier on the blades because they need more strength to move. So that's why if they stay in the same ballpark, that's what they need to do, because right now they're just really, really heavier. They got to find a way around it. Or even, this wouldn't have been that much of an issue. Maybe all the blades were like in the 20 ballpark and we kind of went in there, because what are they going to do? We're already kind of like 35, whatever. We're already very close to hitting 40. Like, they can't go any heavier than that. So, I do not know. I do not know. Or they would have to really rework the stadium. That could be the only other thing I could think of, where maybe the stadium gets redesigned to compensate for the bay's weight. How'd they do that? They maybe design it where if you are a heavier bay, you can still use the gimmick. So that's kind of my overall thoughts. And also, some other stuff points that were made, because I did read a comment where maybe there could be the idea where maybe if there's a super heavy bay, like they restrict it one per deck. Let's assume hypothetically there's only a specific amount of 38-gram blades. Even then, for 3-on-3 wouldn't really be much of an issue, but we still have to obviously wait for testing, right? This could definitely be a case where maybe it works out. Maybe there are counters to this, right? Obviously, when I saw 38 grams and when I had recency bias of like doing an event of a similar bay of 38 grams and Phoenix at least generally having a better shape, it's fair enough to be a little bit worried. Could it be nothing burger? 100%. Do we need data? 1,000%. So yeah, it's pretty much for the Phoenix. Now, actually, I'm starting to the Wyvern fans. I did not give a prediction to Wyvern. This is the only graphic I have of it, so we'll talk about it. Wyvern is a little bit interesting, by the way. If you actually pay attention to a lot of these blade designs, a lot of them are kind of like literal variants of kind of like Hell Scythe, where they'll have like a blade curved up. Like if you look at Rhino Horn, if you somehow manage to find the Korokoro scans of Wyvern Gale, you'll notice it's kind of like a variant of like these curved up. Now, why did they do that? It's so in battle they have these very big and strong impact. Now, Wyvern Gale to me, I think has to be potentially surpassing Hell Scythe because of the rounder shape and everything. It seems like it'd be where it's the benefits of maybe Hell Scythe's aggressiveness, but maybe also some smoother stamina. We literally have zero footage, so this is pure speculation. I could be right, I could be wrong. Obviously, we'll find out from there. But I will put this on the main chat of discussion for some other general updates, because if I'm not going to do next week, that means I also have to follow up this week with reading the chat. If there's any questions, I'll try to answer. And also, I will give some updates for future project stuff. Because obviously right now, I'm going to be getting very, very busy with eventually a lot of the finals coming to the end of this year. So it's going to be a little bit, tough. Those edits look amazing. Thank you. Yellow Wyvern, kind of bad though. Agreed. Like how you did the Land Claw editing. Thank you very much. Me personally, I feel like 960 will hit harder since the blades are thinner, but we'll see. 100%. We got a Jaggy from Burst. Like the Gear Fly. Yeah, I guess kind of in that vein. Yeah, I guess kind of. Yeah, I guess it would be actually. Is World Knight better than Spryzen Requiem? I did the top 5 Hasbro combos. See that video. The answer should be yes. I don't remember where I ranked it though. Is anybody getting the vibe that Burn will be the end? Well, you got to remember that how X is working. There are multiple antagonist groups. I'm pretty sure the main one should be Pendragon, but it's kind of like in Masters, right? You have multiple groups. There's not really a main one once you get to like the end when you figure it out. Let's see what else. Can't wait for a left spin bay though. Everybody talks about left spin bays. I feel like everyone's gonna keep talking every single month. I can't wait for left spin until we actually get left spin. When will Hasbro release Beyblade X in the USA? Well, obviously we don't have a literal date, but we have a time frame. Summer/fall 2024. Summer could be easily May, June, July. We don't know. We're only going to find out a little bit closer. Hopefully Wyvern can replace Arrow and Stamina. In Stamina, it's getting old. What do you mean by that? Oh, I guess because, like, more stamina options. Yeah, because I guess Viper Tail has more recoil attack stuff, sure. How do I get the December release of the Korokoro? This is another one. Are you going to sell PhoenixWing? We are selling PhoenixWing, but I assume you mean Phoenix Feather. Phoenix Feather? I think we might. We should be. Because listen, because the import cost to get a Korokoro, and I got to explain this. Listen, if the Korokoro is like $7, the total to get like an actual Korokoro, because with how they try to package this stuff, is like 4,000 yen. Do like the translation on the current do the conversion on the currency. So that's why sometimes these bays are a little bit costly if you're importing, but I will see. I do have some plans for that. You might actually see a wing and feather bundle together, so stay tuned for that. What do you think of Shadow Wizard Money Gang being complete now? You know, I knew this day would come. I knew this day would come when someone would ask this, and I wasn't prepared for it. I think good. I think good. What if they made a new Shark Edge design in the design of Longinus? I mean, we kind of got that, basically. Are you going to be using the Phoenix Bay for competitive? I'm assuming you're meaning the painted one. Yes, you have to. Let's go over some other stuff. Okay, actually, in the meantime... Oh, hold on. Here you go. Maybe with UX starting, they might actually add gimmicks to Blazer tips. Yeah, definitely this will be the case. Now, before I forget, while I have everyone here... Oh, and someone said this. Is Phoenix Feather going to cost a lot? Well, this is how I have to calculate costs. I have to first see how much it costs to import it, and then after I have to calculate there. So it has to make sense, right? So I just want to be sure of that, but no. I mean, if you're from the U.S., it won't matter at all, because I'm selling in Canadian, right? So my currency is terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay, but yeah, I'll be able to find a little bit closer. I don't see Pendragon as the antagonist, more as the main goal. Well, when I say antagonist, just to be clear, the way people view antagonist is like, it's like the evil, but antagonist doesn't mean an evil person. It's just whatever is like the opposing force to like the protagonist. So technically this season has multiple antagonist groups. But yes, yes, yes. Do you think X needs more flexibility in its simple design, like burst with the layers and drivers? Well, right now they're improving a lot of the detailing on the bays and like the visual style. So I feel right now we are improving on that. I feel like we're improving on that, because if you compare Drawn Sword to like a Leon Claw, like Leon Claw significantly different, and it's a lot, like they're getting better, they're getting better. Are UX the remakes, or neither? UX should probably be, it probably should be like what Beyblade Burst God was, like that transition, or maybe this is like a subsystem, but this is mainline. This is not remakes or anything like that. Because obviously it wouldn't make sense that the UX listing would be there for global, right? Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, I would like to see a drum roll emote in the chat, because we have the Bay History preview. Now I'm just going to be double sure I'm not screwing with the audio. Okay, so actually I don't know about the audio thing. So here's the warning now. Don't have your audio too loud, because I don't know if the audio balancing went through or not. So just in case. Also, if your eyes are sensitive to like a little bit of fast visuals or whatever, I'm going to give you that 5-second, 10-second warning right now. So be careful of sound. I mean, it's not too flashy. Listen, it's not too flashy or whatever, but it is something really nice. And I'm giving the warning now. I know there's a chat delay right now, so I just want to be obviously respectful just in case, you know, if someone maybe... you know, has to deal with that, just to be sure. But yeah, be careful with the audio, but the audio should be fine, and obviously the visuals, yeah. So you're gonna hear my audio go out, and then after we will be back with my audio on. It'll sound weird. Well then, sorry about that. I actually don't know. I think my mic's a little bit too close right now. Okay, I'm just gonna lower this mic right now. Okay, look at that. Yeah, that took a very long time to actually do for the preparation for that sequence. To give you spent my whole month. I've been basically storyboarding and doing a lot of the previs and everything. So it took a lot of time, but very, very happy with it. The sequences, because obviously, you know, when you're talking about the history videos, like you're just seeing the bay, right? So obviously, that part I can't change much of visually because I'm just talking. I can do maybe some angles, whatever. But I thought what's really nice is like if there are transition sequences, like it's like rewarding if you watch the video, where essentially when you're okay. First of all, I do not know what this guy is doing, but you're on timeout, buddy. So when you're watching the video, there's going to be a special sequence for each of the bays, and I thought that would be really, really cool. But yeah, this was a lot of hard work. The video is obviously going to be dedicated to my father, and it's going to go on what would have been his birthday. I worked really, really hard on it. So yeah, now on that topic of Bay history, now essentially, because Bay histories take a lot of time, because one, research of meta, character research, the visuals, we just saw what I did. It took a lot of time preparing. Like this was back in October right now, even a little bit in September of planning. So I can't really just do one for the end of the year, because if I did do one at the end of the year, then I would feel it wouldn't be the quality that I would want it to be. And I don't think I want to just put it out to put it out. I want to put it out if it's good. So there's going to be something else. Now I can't say what right now. I can't say what, but I can say that there's going to be a very special, nice video. Now, no one's going to be able to guess it because I've been working increasingly hard to make sure that I can't give any possible hints. The only hint I will give, I've only ever done the video like that once on my channel, and I really wanted to do another version of that. So that is your only actual hint right now. Your only hint, that is all you get. The video, I think, will be very interesting. The only thing I'm scared of is trying to pass through the copyright of this stuff, because when you use certain visuals in Beyblade in general, right, it gets like a little bit tricky because, you know, like I said with the Japan stuff, right, like when I'm doing, oh wait, actually, you want to know what? Give me one more second. I'm going to actually pull up something right now. I just found the visual I was thinking about. So this is actually unrelated, but we can just end off with that in a little bit more discussion. But yeah, that's pretty much my other plans. Probably once December hits, you'll probably see a couple of streams, I want to say, once my winter break comes along. But here we go. Here's a nice little visual that they released of those bays. You can kind of see what I mean right now. Yeah, if you kind of take a look at the bays, like, I mean, listen, IRL, they look so good. They look so, so good. Got any dislike for Phoenix? That it's not in my hand right now. No, I mean, there's nothing really right now. I mean, 960, I don't know. It probably won't be, like, too crazy. I mean, Feather, I have no idea. I have no idea. Phoenix, Wing, and Feather should have been Bird Kazamis. So I get the idea of this, like, if Bird had a bay and it was like Hawk to Phoenix, but he got Hell Scythe, and I think I'm okay with him keeping Hell Scythe because it's fine. But I guess thematically, you could argue that if there was the Phoenix motif, you could have said maybe that could have made sense. Other than weight creep, what do you really not want to see with X? Now, this is going to be the controversy of this live today, but I don't want to see that many Burst remakes. Listen, I have nothing against the Burst generation. It is what mostly made most of the growth on my channel, but I have a good reason for this. I just don't care. Like, okay, Xeno Excalibur, 100%. Drain Faft, like, maybe there are specific burst ones, but I want it to mostly be whatever the Bakuten stuff was, the MFB, because the burst ones are so difficult to do anyways for them to design. But no, I will give a proper answer. Other than that, what do I not want to see? I'm not too sure. I mean, you know, like, just whatever bursts got wrong. Like, all the lad stuff, so many stuff, all that stuff. Like, repeating, like, bearing drift, bearing, like, 50 bearings, right? Any news on the next remake after Dronzer? Not yet. We're only going to probably find out It comes out, I think the next one should be April. We're only going to find out March. If anything sooner, probably by then, my friend. 96 will probably be a little bit more defensive. Well, it depends how thick it is. Depends how thick it is. Versus 2 recent remakes, I feel can literally still buy a lot of them. Yeah, you know, but it's for like, you know, it's like for like the 25th, whatever, so they can throw in 2. They're allowed 2 or 3, but that's about it. That's about it. Because because if they're only doing this for 1 year, and maybe they could do more depending on the success, I really just want this. I just want Metal Fight base. I'm biased. I just want the Metal Fight ones. Bakuten I'm okay with, because in X, the Bakuten remakes are actually useful to use. So, yes. Spin Your Doom is a missed opportunity for X. Oh yeah, the first one. That may have been a little bit weird to see metal though, kind of. But aside from that, oh, here we go. What happened to the Beyblade X? Okay, there we go. Alrighty, well, unfortunately, I will be answering this. Actually, not unfortunately. Thank you for asking the question. I will clarify now. Okay. So, there was a ZANKcast that went out yesterday, and I kind of talked about this on the Twitter. That's even longer context, but it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, people you find on Twitter are not who they say to be. This guy, okay, so basically, the person who I interviewed, right, basically did like the Scooby-Doo villain thing where they put a mask on them, they hid who they were and tried to hide from their past. They're a completely different name that's linked to all this stuff. Completely horrid stuff that they have said to people that have surfaced of proven audio recordings. Like, honestly, insane stuff. They are vermin. They are a scumbag. And I will not be platforming any type of hate like that or any people like that at all. So that is unfortunately, my friend, why that that cast had to go. Because the whole point of ZANKcast, right? The whole reason why me and my father did this, it wasn't, okay, this is to fill out the year until Beyblade X. The whole purpose was because there's so much, like, unnecessary drama in the Beyblade community. Me and my father's goal was to connect with members with the community, have a conversation on interesting people for interesting topics, kind of focus, and to try to, like, just talk about stuff. Try to highlight the good in the community. And to really feel like someone who lied about their identity, essentially, lied about their past, to have such a disgusting history, like, when you offer the platform to someone like that, and then after you find out that, like, it was such, like, a dirty feeling, and I really feel like I should have tried to do, like, the teensy bit more trying to dig, even if they did change the name, but, like, what can you do? They got zero clout out of this. Their account is protected, everyone will forget about them, and they can stick in their loser group. So, yeah. And that is to answer my friend, Matt. Sorry, that was a lengthy rant, Matt. I usually only do the rants long if it is for Hasbro, but in this case, we had to go a little bit long. I personally, as long as Beyblade X doesn't go on for 6 or 7 seasons, we won't get many repeats like the bearing stuff. Here's what I'll save, and I'll probably go more in depth maybe later on by the end of this year. I think what Takara Tomy is going to do is what Hasbro's been doing, where it's going to be a new stadium each season. Now, there are pros and cons to this, because one, if you're importing a stadium, the costs are always going to be high. The stadiums are freaking big, right? But logically, that's the only other way you can avoid weight creep. It's if you change up the stadium. And I can understand if someone's like, dude, I don't want to just change the stadium because there's a whole new meta in that. I prefer if it's a standardized stadium. The reason why I think that's a good idea, though, and hear me out on this, the reason why I think they should change the stadiums per season, other than just for freshness and what I just said, it's just because it kind of makes more sense to do that, because if the stadium's already gimmicky, you're going to do the same gimmick for 7 years, 6 years, right? You got to change it up. You got to give variety. So credit to Hasbro, again, you got to give credit to Hasbro, because even if Hasbro was a poor execution, the model there, the idea, because they collaborate on these ideas, you got to give credit where credit's due there. Next Bay History 1. When? The 26th, my friend. And after that, I'm on break on Bay Histories in general. Hypothetically, do you think Dronzer, how do you think Dronzer will do on a gear flat? I think Dronzer gear flat, if gear flat is super fast, I think Dronzer could be very scary. Looking at Team Yggdrasil, what do you think the other members... Okay, my dyslexia is going to be kicking in now. What do you think the other members will have? God. Sorry, I've been talking for so long. Okay, I think I'll probably be Unicorn Bay. I'm going to be getting some water. Give me a second. Dear God. I think the girl has like a unicorn hair, I'm pretty sure. And I think one of them, I swear to God, I'm going to sound insane. I think one of them is like a monkey that can actually do Beyblade. Like it's a monkey in a trench coat. I swear to God. Go read the manga, because Extreme Scanslations, by the way, actually, we got the chapter out. I swear to God, it has to be, or there's some gimmick where they're going to have like a monkey or an eighth bay. That's what I think. So probably like, you know, mythology type based. Any news on the Hasbro stuff? Not yet. We're only going to find out like super, super close to the thing, because that's like the product in hand. Like, I don't know, maybe they might just do like, maybe the color choice will be like how they did Burst and kind of pour. Maybe. Do you think Gear Flat will replace Rush for Cobalt Drake? Interesting question. It depends on the movement speed, but if it's designed to focus on the extreme line, you could probably see this as some really weird anti-attack stuff, and it probably could be useful, probably. But aside from that, you gotta give me a second here. I'm sorry, you're gonna hear maybe a drinking sound just because I'm talking so long, right? I'm sorry about the ASMR today, fellas. Okay. Yeah, but aside from that, so next week there's not going to be any discussion. I'm going to go over any video recap stuff. Is there anything else to talk about? Yeah. Actually, yeah. Okay. Next, the weekend after next weekend, so after the 26th, big plans. Big plans for video content. Very, very special. Don't want to spoil it. It's going to be a big surprise. That is going to be there. As far as other stuff, I mean, for the content right now, you're probably going to see some X stuff. I'm trying to think of any other old gen stuff to do. You know, discussion videos, battles, whatever. So you'll probably eventually try to see something like that. As of yesterday, I've decided to get into BEYBLADE X, never played before. What is weight creep and why is the new stadium a potential fix? Okay, I will explain this. Okay. Well, for starters, my friend, you just activated my trap card, which is the plug for mallbase.com, because we have a BEYBLADE X Extreme Sale 3 products. You get a 15% discount. So that's the answer to the first part of your question that I'm not answering, but I will answer now properly. So basically, bays are at a certain weight. So let's say the total weight of one Beyblade in total is 45 grams. Let's say they do a release where now there's a release where the weight is like 50 grams. Now there's like a 5 gram difference. Let's say now there's another release where it's going to be in total weight 55 grams. So weight creep essentially means the weight is going up on the releases, and because the weight is going up, there's going to be a little bit of stuff outclassed. Like right now you can kind of say like Dronzer's usable, but if the weight gets super high and the base goes super, super heavy, like Dronzer's not going to be able to do anything. It's like in boxing when you have like a lightweight, like super light featherweight against like a heavyweight. That's basically what it would kind of be. Where should I buy the Koro for Phoenix Feather? Wherever the Koro is sold digitally. I don't know exactly how it's going to appear for the listing. I don't know if it's going to be like a special thing or whatever. Oh, Yggdrasil, by the way, the Wyvern is not in the group. Wyvern, it's a part of one of those guys who works in the Bay Tower. How many Beyblades do you think that will be in the X anime? I actually don't. I'm gonna actually answer this honestly. I'll do this for you because listen, we have a lot of people. We don't usually have a lot of people. Actually, hold on, let me get this off the plug of the store right now. Listen, I'm not that shameless, okay? Thumbnail here. I will actually try to answer this. Well, I can't count right now, so someone has to count how many there are, but I would say between Dude, I don't know. Maybe like at least there might be 30 or something. I have no idea because I don't know how many they're gonna. If they do freaking like 2 per month, I can't answer. But probably for season 1, if you're counting just the base anime and not like remakes of like previous gen, I don't know, maybe like 30 or something. I don't know how many bays there might be in total for that. Last time I ordered in. Well, if you are based in the US, right, and because of the sale that's going on right now, I would say it's pretty fair, but it's up to your choice, right? Wherever you buy is wherever you buy. I can't hold a gun to your head and say go buy from my store, right? But with the sale going on everything, especially because it's on the pre-order stuff, if you want to consider, you can. But yeah. The Wyvern guy is a part of the WBO, but it's with the management or whatever. Is there a chance that if TT puts gimmicks on the UX system will not interfere with the size of the bays? Good question. I don't know. Is there an X string launcher? Yes, they have released that back in October and originally back in July. Weight creep, price creep. Yeah, inflation's tough. Inflation's very, very tough. And plus, import costs are also very tough. What do you think of the new ripcord design from the entry starter? Like it's just a baby launcher. Like it's just a little proto launcher. I don't care for it. It's meant for a specific target audience. It's not me, so I can't just be like, oh, this sucks, because you have to consider who it's for. A Lespin X-Bay is what I'd say is insane. Fair enough. Are there any stadium gimmicks from Beyblade Burst that you would like to see in the Extreme Line gimmick? I would like to say there's going to be a video that's going to be coming out this coming Saturday, the 25th, that's going to answer that question on something I would really have loved to see. I'm sorry for baiting, but that is how it is. I'll do a few more and then we'll wrap up for the live today. Do you think Hasbro will possibly release a Strike Hawk or a Storm Blanc exclusive for Beyblade X? I think logically they should do this because it's something that Takara Tomy didn't do. So there's appeal from a Japanese audience if they wanted to buy this, and there's appeal for us here because it feels like nice content. Would they do it? Probably not. But would it be cool if they did it? 100%. And there's a pretty there's like a 3D print Bay artist who kind of did a Strike Hawk 3D print design and a Storm Blanc one. I forget the name, but very talented person that's from the Japan Baytube community. Let me actually get the name. I can't show screenshots right now just because I'm on my Mac. Natsumi Craft, shout out to them. They do like, honest to God, like out of 10, like 10 for quality right there. Like very, very, like in general, I think for Japan Baytubing, when they do like a lot of 3D print stuff, it's leagues above like what we'll usually see here for any modifications or whatever, because they just go like above and beyond. But yeah. The entry is worth it for just the ripcord, similar to Dragoon's Repulse. Yeah, and keep in mind, it's basically just like, they're just selling it like, I think it's like the booster value, but it's like a starter, but it's not a starter. I don't like that sound. I want to wrap up very soon. Do you think TT will release a stronger string launcher? Sooner the better. I actually might have the hot take here. I do not want them to, I think the string launcher should be the exact same length from start to finish. 1, because if it's just color changes, I prefer that. 2, because then after that, it's unnecessary creep on products. Like, I would like it if it was just the launcher you have, it's the same one. Like, a ripcord launcher, okay, fine. You can extend the ripcord, and that can be okay. But I don't know. And I would have to maybe test this concept, but I have used a modded burst launcher that can launch the X-Bays, and I don't think they can get any, like, much on the RPM where it's going to do that much. How do you think Hasbro's going to do Beyblade X? I did a video on this discussing it. I just said we'll find out when we find out. So I think we basically went over everything possible. So stay tuned for next Sunday, man. Next Sunday is going to be a lot of hard work, whatever. After that, I am on physical exhaustion creatively. And I'm going to be on a little bit of a break before I have to work right on the next big project. So we will stay tuned for that. So yeah, no show next week. Following week, probably. All depends. But where am I now? that's going to be pretty much it. I think I pretty much said everything possible. No, I think that's about it. Alrighty. Thank you to everyone who showed up for the live today. We had a good amount of people this time, so greatly appreciate anyone who showed up for the Sunday show. Apologies for being a few minutes late. It was just because of the preview that I kind of played there. But I will see you all the following week after that, after the 26th, the week after the 26th. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and bye.